6:56 a.m. right now, and I awoke right before 4 a.m. because I just randomly. And the holy hour, 3 to 4 a.m. is the holy hour. Yeah. Right after I got out of bed at like 5:30 a.m. or something, I forgot. Before 5:30, like 5:17 I think, I made some noodles. I bought the whole pot of noodles with soup, put it on my mirror table right over there, my vanity, and then I also bought like some of the side dishes in here, like kimchi, potatoes, like flavored potatoes, made all like sweet and light sesame oil. My grandma, cousin Cody always have like a bunch of side dishes with our meals. Yeah, and I also put in a tiny bit of the top of this lasagna, but I didn't bring all of the lasagna piece, cut it off because I'm a vegetarian. Yes, and I've been eating all of the noodles and the soup, the side dishes together. Call it. Lately, I've been eating a lot and not chewing as thoroughly as I should, which is why I've been eating even. Because when you don't chew thoroughly, you feel like you haven't eaten as you have, because you're just swallowing it. And that's why the secret to actually healthy eating is chewing thoroughly and enjoying the taste of every bite, rather than just like swallowing, like getting obsessed and like not even tasting what you already have in your mouth, just like throwing it all in. I've been on that side of the spectrum of eating habits, as well as the opposite, which is eating less, but like chewing really well, so you don't feel like your stomach is empty. Not, humans don't actually need to eat as much as we do, but sometimes it's just fun to overeat. That's what I've been doing lately, which is why I've gained weight. But now I'm trying to chew more properly because it's actually unhealthy and will cause constipation and yeah, it's just not that good to overeat all the time for your body. Yes. And the secret to fast metabolism, I think, other than genetics, other than like body processing stuff, and like having lean limbs, lean muscles like I do, because I'm not just skinny. I'm like, I just have leaner muscles. But even if I gain weight, I look skinny because of the leaner muscles I have. But actually, someone who's bigger built than me could be skinnier than me, but I look skinnier than them because I'm smaller. You know what I mean? But that doesn't mean I didn't gain weight lately, like a little bit. What do you call it? Just kidding. What do you call it? Oh yeah, I think the secret to fast metabolism is actually, along with the chewing properly of the food, so it breaks down better, like, and goes more smoothly through your esophagus and down through like the entry into your stomach, with the whole digesting down of the food for real. Like, ugh, yuck, I hate when I'm like about to burp when I'm speaking. It's so rude. Don't interrupt me when I'm speaking. Anyways, like the breaking down of the food, digesting. That's what I was trying to say. Digesting. Yes. yeah, there's the chewing properly aspect, and then there's also not swallowing right after another, one bite after another. Can't speak properly these days. Yes, so if you chew more properly, you'll be able to savor each taste and swallow, and then after that, you can take like 5 seconds just by feeling and take the next bite. But if you don't do that, and if you just like swallow without chewing properly, then it feels like your stomach is all like filling up, but you don't feel as full because it's like all stuck here at the top rather than like digesting. So that's why you're eating more and more, but you feel more like uncomfortable, like it stores up there, doesn't even go through to digest properly. Then there's issues of constipation, indigestion, and slowing down your metabolism. I don't know if that's what equals metabolism, but you won't be able to break that food down into nutrients for your body. It'll turn into fat because it stores up there and it blocks the entry into your digestion hole. Stomach. Yes, that's why Asians who eat thinner meals, like we eat a lot. I actually feel like Westerners eat less than Asians. Like Asians eat so much. We have like big banquets all the time. But the reason we're like thinner, other than our genetics or whatever, our smaller bones, I think it's also because of like the lightness of the food we eat. Like we don't eat like thick, crusty bread. We eat like rice, which is like each little thing is a small grain. Each little grain is a small piece. So all of that breaks down much more. And also all of our side dishes and noodles, it's not all like thick and sticky like Western lasagna and pasta. Although those are also not as bad compared to some like thick roasts that Westerners tend to have for like a meal. But for Asians, it's like we have like thinner cut meals. And our kimchi and our spinach dishes, all of our flavored little cuisine looking, nuts and like what else? Like japchae, our stews, and that's it. On top of the light food, I feel like it's because we also have more liquids whilst we eat. Like we have a lot of soup, watery soup, which is more focused on like spices and the taste of it, using natural herbs, natural like bean paste, all of those things, and soy sauce, all these natural yet strong tasting healthy stuff. So we rely on the taste with that kind of flavoring rather than thicker stock like milk, or I don't know what do you Westerners use, gravy. The gravy is yum. I love gravy, but I rarely have it, like hardly ever, because it's like a thicker consistency as well. Koreans have this term called what can I think? Oh, 느끼해, which means like it feels greasy. But there isn't like a literal English translation for that word. But basically, it means like because Asian food is much lighter, or Korean and Japanese food. I know Chinese people have more like oily dishes, but yeah, Asian foods tend to be thinner. Even if we eat a lot, it's like just it feels much more like crisp and lighter, And then that's why Koreans have the saying called 느끼해, where we're not used to that super greasy kind of thick feeling that makes you feel like it's too oily feeling, like it's too much kind of feeling. And that's what Koreans say like white people is like, because it's Korean food it is. And then with certain Korean meals. If it's like unusual and like extra thick, like, then Koreans would be like, oh, this is kind of nicky hair, like, oh, this greasy feeling, like, oh, there isn't an English word for it, but yeah. Hope you get what I mean. Why Asians are so cute. I actually watched a video recently, saying why Asians are genetically cuter, like our facial features are like softer apparently. Like, I used to think I had, because of my like nose and stuff, but then recently I found out, like, I realized actually my face is like softer. I don't know, like, because my face matured early. Like, I've had the same face since I was like 13, or no, like 12. Like, my nose bridge, like, my nose was flat when I was a baby, and then when I was like 9, my nose started growing, and then I've had this high bridge nose since I was like 11. And yeah, yeah. Did you know that that happens to Asians? The Tyra show. I remember I was obsessed with this one episode where Tyra was totally uneducated about Asians' faces. Like, Asians can develop double eyelids naturally whilst they grow up, or they can lose them. And they can also go from flat nose to high bridged just naturally. Like, that's how Asians develop, you know? It's an Asian thing. But Tyra Banks, she was like interviewing this Asian girl, and I've been watching the same video for like over 10. I know, I loved how it was. It's called Tyra Banks Asian Double Eyelids, and I just looked it up when I was 11, and that's when I started watching America's Next Top Model, like, on the internet, because I loved that show, and I kind of like hated Tyra a bit, because, like, yeah, I still do. Like, I love her. I think she's a great person, but some of the things she said in the past, it's like, do you want to think about that a bit more? Like, do you want to research about that a bit more? Because on the Tyra Double Eyelids episode, the Asian girl was talking about how like, she had double eyelids, and as she got older, they started like drooping. It's totally normal for Asians, because our like double eyelids, if we do have double eyelids naturally, they're like not as strong for some people. Like, my cousin, she is overweight, and when she was like 11, she became so overweight that her double eyelids started unfolding. So, like, that happens. It's normal. It can happen. Sometimes you might have double eyelids, but one might come undone just naturally, just because we're Asian. Like, it's not as like prominent. Prominent? Yeah, prominent. And then Tyra Banks thought it was bullshit. Like, she thought the girl that was being interviewed was like trying to hide the fact that she got double eyelid surgery because she wanted to look more white. And I'm like, it's you though, it's not her. Like, why don't you try and listen to her? Like, I don't know. And the girl obviously looked frustrated because Tyra misunderstood her. Maybe to some extent she did become whitewashed, but it wasn't like to betray her race like her boyfriend said. It was because, like, she grew up in a Western environment, and it's not like a bad thing like Tyra was making out to be. Like, she did get this want fit, okay, that makes sense. But I don't think the girl was like purposely trying to hide anything. I think if she did do what Tyra said she did, like, because of her past of being bullied for looking different from the white kids or the black kids, people with like Western features, like double eyelids and stuff. And then that's why when she was an adult, she got surgery done, whatever. I mean, I don't think the girl even realized that that's why she did it. And perhaps she didn't do it for that reason either. So Tyra was being like a bit biatchy, like, mm-hmm. Yeah, I thought like that it was ridiculous. And I kept watching the video over because it just reminded me of how like, the girl looked like me and Tara looked like every non-Asian I've met who treated me like I was being like that whenever it came to like race stuff. like, I don't know. They like to pick on the Asian girl. That's what I used to think. When I watched like America's Next Top Model, that the cycle with Jade and the Korean girl, and Jade was working on the Korean, like the poor innocent girl, and she was like super self-conscious, losing her confidence. And I always felt like them that people pick on the Asian girl, but luckily in the recent years, like Asians are much more like they have a different image now, like the confident Asian or whatever. I don't know. I don't know what image I'm talking about. What am I saying? I don't know. But whatever. Okay, what? Brains. Yeah. Because when the girl said that her double eyelids were drooping, like Tyra should have listened. Tyra, even if she was skeptical, she should have pressed on that and been like, "How do you mean?" And then she can find out instead of just immediately presuming that the girl is lying and being like, "I don't believe that. To say that you're only 25 and your eyes are drooping, is it the most honest thing that you can talk about? I mean, say about yourself." I don't know. I'm like, yeah, because Asian eyelids aren't as strong as yours, non-Asian woman. Like, maybe you should learn instead of being this girl. But anyways, I'm eating. Huh? Discovery Channel. You be random. Oh yeah, and the final way for like better digesting and not gaining weight, no matter how much you eat, is by drinking a lot of water as well. And a lot of liquids like tea, because Asians like to drink a lot of tea, and or hot soup. We have like our watery soup rather than like thick, mushy soup that the Western cuisine offers. Yeah, in Asia, when we think soup, we instantly think watery consistency, but in like Western or I don't know, Indian, some other places, the rest of the world, it's kind of like, oh, soup, oh yeah, the thick consistency. But for us, that's more like porridge. Yeah. So yeah, that's why Asians are probably thinner. Yeah. Yeah, the difference between um like chubby and thick. Like I have a lot of friends who are islanders who are like thick, but I wouldn't call them like chubby or even like some of them say like, "Oh, I'm so fat," and I'm like, "What? No, you're not," because they're like clearly toned. Like maybe not like Instagram model toned, but like they look fine. I don't know. Not saying that if you weren't toned, you wouldn't look fine, but you know what I mean? Yeah. So yeah, there's also the difference in that. Like I look at the person and a person, I can tell like whether they're like this or that. It's not just in looks either. This is in everything. Like I don't know, in terms of their intrinsic qualities, like they're a helping, caring person, or they adept at thinking outside of the box, or they are like a creative thinker, or I don't know, or their skills and aspirations. Like, it's all according to the person. Yeah. Ever since I was little, I always knew things as they were. I didn't know how to explain it. And I was so frustrated as a little kid because I felt like I just knew things, but I didn't know how to explain it. And that's why, as an adult now, I have a lot of trust and faith in kids. Like, I don't look down on them, think, oh, stupid kids, they know nothing. I actually think kids are more intelligent than adults because intelligence isn't knowledge, it's how your mind is. That's why no matter how knowledgeable and older you, it doesn't necessarily mean you're wiser as an adult. Keep that open mind you've had since you were a kid for life. And then, no matter how much you learn, because you're going to constantly learn, having that open mind will help you to really learn. You're not just going to learn the knowledge, you're going to learn why and how it all works. I mean, this goes to philosophy as well. Goes on to being philosophical. Like, ever since I was little, I always thought philosophy, and I didn't know that there was a term for it. I just thought that that's obvious it is, but most people were telling me, like, no, you're stupid. I'm like, but it's obvious. Like, how do you think so narrow-minded? And then the older I got, the more terms I learned, the more of, like, subjects I studied about, the more of different perspectives I've heard about. Then I learned, like, why some people think their way, why I thought in my way. Yeah, things like that. Ew, piece of hair on my food. Yuck. Hate it when that happens. I'm a minion. Oh my gosh. My brother said I look like a minion. Just kidding. Your nose is so cute. Really? Thank you. My nose. My nose used to look better than this, but I ruined it. Lit Squad. I'm probably like 5 years older than you. You look like one. I'm just kidding. By the ways, I don't know why. Okay, I was about to say white people, but I don't want to be like white people. Um, and Asians think that being young is an insult, that someone looks young. For me, that's a clear compliment. And then they think like, why do Asians think looking young is so good? Because it means you look youthful, so that you don't look like a hag when you're 40. So sad. No, but actually, ironically, even though I'm Asian, people thought I was like 20 when I was in high school because my face developed early. Like to me, I looked my age, but I think because of my nose, like it's like high bridged, even though I'm Asian, and then because I'm Asian, but I have like this mature looking nose, I think people thought I was like 20. I got so offended when I was 17, and I was like, "Oh, one child, please," on the bus, and the man was like, "Child?" Because I had my hair all like emo-ish, and I'm like, of course I'm a child. Like, why would I have this hairstyle when I'm like 20 years old and up? Because I'm 21 now, and I stopped being emo ever since last year. Yeah, ever since I got out of my teens, basically. Um. Anyways, I'll call it. Yeah, and he was like, "Child? How old are you?" And I was like, 17. And he was like, "Give me your ID." And I showed him my student, like, high school ID. So that's the only form of ID I had. Well, I had my passport. But who would carry their passport around in New Zealand? You're a teenager. You're a high schooler. So I handed it to him. And it clearly said 1996. But he was like, 1985. And I was like, no, 1996. And he was like, and he like handed it back to me. I'm like, the fudge? Like, do I look like I was 85? You think I'm 30 at the age of 17? I'm so dumb. What is this? What? Oh, hell no. The fuck is this? I just swore. Oops, I didn't mean to swear, but I'm listening to subliminals, and even though I put it on loop, for some stupid reason, it went to the next video. I don't want those results, please. Haha, don't worry, I look 12. Oh, cute. Hey, you look 16. I'm 21. Yeah. Yeah. I look the same from when I was 16. Like, I actually think I looked older when I was 16. I don't know. I think it's because, like, I look more natural now, but back then I had, like, my emo hair. And I know. Like, emo hair somehow makes you look, like, maturer in a way, a little bit. Because it's all, like, wacky and sharp edges. I don't know. Yeah, I can't wait for my hair to grow really long, and then I'm gonna do like a doll hairstyle, like curl it, like those Asian-y doll-like looks. Because I've never done that before. I've always done like emo looks, alternative kind of in the past. I feel like Asians don't age. Yay! I'm so happy. Well, actually, I aged really quick when I was a child, and then had the same face. They always look young and fresh. Just kidding. Well, other than genetics, I think it's because the Asian culture requires like a lot more self-care. Like we care about like natural remedies a bit more, and like herbal things like herbal tea. Like we eat ginger often, or I don't know, a lot of spices and all that stuff in our foods. I think Asians are more health conscious in like the food way, but then white people are more health conscious and exercise way, because I know that Koreans do not exercise. Like Koreans from Korea, like they're so slim, and what do you call it? You know, K-pop idols. When I look at their weight in accordance to their height, obviously it might not be exactly what they said they are, but it's still probably similar. Like I get so shocked because they're me and they're the same height as me. But then I realized, like, oh yeah, but they probably have less muscle. Koreans, um, yeah, they really don't really exercise. So even though they're skinny, that's all they are sometimes. Like, they don't have any muscle. They're just like skinny limbs. Probably that's why they are so light. Too, but I can't relate to the healthy lifestyle. Lol, Koreans have realistic standards. Yeah, I'm Korean though, but like Koreans from Korea, that's true. A lot of them do that. I used to hate my culture, but now I've embraced it, and that Korea starts developing forwards as well. And yeah, they have to learn about self-acceptance and self-love. Like, when I was insecure about my nose because of just random reasons, I was telling like my dad's close friend, because she became kind of close with us, like me and my brother. And in Korea, I told, uh, thank you, I'm accepting nose now, but before I used to be so paranoid that it looked huge, because Koreans normally have like small cute noses. I wanted like Inji of Apex's nose. But anyways, huh? Not flat at all. Okay. I used to want a flat nose. But anyways, what do you call it? Yeah, I told her, like, oh, my nose is like blah blah blah. And then I expected her to give me like words of encouragement, like, oh, it's okay, your nose, love yourself the way you are. Instead, in Korea, the culture, their values are the other way around. And she was, oh, it's okay. If you want to get plastic surgery, I'll give you the money. I was like, no, I want to change my face. I just want to like dip it. I just can't yet. And she was like, no, it's totally fine. Just get it done. I'll do it for you. And I was like, no. Like, what? You're telling me to sabotage my face instead of learning to love myself? Like, Koreans are so stupid like that. They think it's the right way to be encouraging of plastic surgery. It's like, people would pay to get a nose like yours, to be honest. Oh my gosh. I don't know what to say to that. No. If that is so, then I should have been thankful of my nose, because I had a huge complex about my face for many years. Like, one, because of my nose. Two, because I looked old for my age when I was younger. Like, I didn't even look that old, actually. I didn't think I looked old, but people always assumed I was like 20 when I was 15. Even though I never even wore makeup. I mean, if I did, it was like colourful stuff. Made it obvious I was underage. I was like, what? Why would I dress like this? Why would I act like this? Why would I look like this at age 20? I would have my like pigtails, emo pigtails, or like, I was obsessed with rock bands, or like obsessed with some famous people, and I was super hyper. What 20-year-old on a daily basis is like that? That was me, because I was 15. Hello. So yeah, I got really paranoid that I look like that. Yeah. To be honest, I'm not a paranoid kind of person. I think paranoia is actually a code word. Actually, I am a paranoid person. I have been. But what I mean is that I don't think I was actually paranoid. I think it's more like, because my ability to see from other people's perspectives is so strong, like I can literally see how they see me. Like, if I don't know what exactly the person is thinking, but I had a good idea by what they tell me and stuff. So because of that, I can see exactly what they mean. And because my imagination is so that's why it's like paranoia. Like, I can see in what they might mean, and then I'm worried that, oh, what if they mean it like this? And then I see it so much that I'm worried I actually look like that. So I look, every time I would look in the mirror, I would see what I imagined, That's why it was so difficult. That's why I needed other people to tell me it's okay, you don't look like that. Because it's like a spell. I'm under a spell and I know it, or I need to make sure that I get out of it if I am. That's why I had to like go to others and speak about it myself. Like I couldn't at the time because I hadn't spiritually trained enough to know what was going on, you know. That's why when you're like a teenager, when you're a child, you need a good parent to always be by your side, tell you to love yourself, like why you're wonderful the way you are. But yeah, I feel like Korean parents are just so demanding. Like they're never happy with you. Even if you are perfectly fine, even if you like yourself, Korean parents always want to tear you down. They're like, oh, you have to do, why can't you be like them? Why can't you be like your friend? Like, if I invited my friends over and we had a good time and they meet my, like, family, they leave. And then someone might like, oh, she's nice. Why can't you be more like her? Like, okay. But sometimes they go, like, overboard and they want to, like, pick out the details and compare with you, like, you with your friends. And it's like, what? Where is this coming from? I didn't do anything wrong. Like, you know, Koreans are crazy. Did you ever have a hard time in high school, like bullying and racism? Parents in general want to tear you down. Yeah, that's sad. In high school, I built my own fortress high school because everyone liked me for who I was, and that was the first, because in primary school everyone hated me for who I was. Well, they didn't actually hate me. They just, I could tell that no one actually hated me. Some girls found me annoying, because I was so silly and like I thought I was funny. But in high school, everyone loved me for being funny and silly. Like that's what they liked. So I was like, wow, I'm being loved. And then yeah, but in primary school, I was definitely bullied hardcore. Not only for my race, but to this one school, everyone was so racist. So I moved back to my other school where people weren't racist, because like there were a lot of Filipinos and Asians there, and yeah, it was a multicultural school. So yeah, I moved back to that school, but yeah, I got bullied for I don't know. Actually, there was this one girl who bullied me the most when I was like five to 10, and then it got better, but she still like did the Bina George type of thing from when I was like 11 to 13. Mostly because she was jealous of me in some ways, and I didn't know she was jealous of me because literally back then I didn't know how to like myself. I didn't hate myself because I was too young to know how to hate myself. But like, I wasn't proud of myself at all. If I looked in the mirror, I just saw like this weird, average-looking girl, and I was surprised when like some people told me like, "Oh, you're like cute," or like, "You're like pretty," blah blah blah, and I'm like, the fuck? I don't see it though. I don't know why she was jealous of me when I didn't even think I was that great. I wasn't even, confident. And for some reason she was jealous of me and then wanted to tear me down when I already had nothing. Because I already had nothing, when she tried to tear me down, it just destroyed me, like murdered me, cracked me from the inside out. And ironically enough, she became one of my best friends. Well, she was actually one of my close friends since I was 5, but she bullied me the most at the same time. It's bizarre. It's hard to explain that school, like, because I kept having faith in her. Like, I knew that there was like a good heart behind all that. I knew that she wasn't actually like that. So trusting in her, I forgave her like a billion quadrillion times, and we remained friends all throughout high school. I feel like because of me putting in the hard work. No, just kidding. But when she was a good friend, she was a really good friend as well. So it's just really weird. And yeah, I'm still friends with her, but I hardly see her anymore. But when we do, it's all good. Yeah, and marry a white guy who's an artist. What? an artist though. I've already annoyed my family by choosing to do music. They don't mind anymore, and they probably want me to marry a white guy or Korean, but I'll marry like an Indian to make them angry. Nah, just kidding. I don't want curry for my dinner every night for the rest of my life. Nah, just kidding. Nah, um, hmm. I don't care what race. Like, I really don't care where you're from. You just have to be like a cool, good person. Your family shouldn't be evil either. Yeah. I feel like growing up Asian in society is kind of hard. Yeah. It was hard for me when I was little, but now I'm like, whatever. OMG girl, I'm Filipino. Yeah. Yeah, Filipinos have like the loudest culture. Like I mean that in a good way though. Um like one thing I envied about Filipinos is that they're always confident about being themselves. Like it's kind of like a thing. Koreans? I know, Koreans are really loud as well. But I don't hang out with Koreans. I only know about like mixed or like white like me. Not whitewashed, westernized. Yeah. Curry fried rice might be delicious. Yes. It depends on the Filipino, I'm pretty quiet. Oh, actually, that's true. One of my best friends, who I also grew up with, she's Filipino, and like she's a bit more sociable now because she's an adult. I mean, she is like she's chill, but like in the past she was like super quiet. But with our friends, she was more like ah. But yeah, strangers, she was hella quiet. What do you call it? There was this one time in like year 9, which is when we're 13 in high school. This class, she's like super loud, and I thought she was funny, but at the same time, I didn't like her that much. Well, I didn't mind her actually. But sometimes she was annoying because she was like unnecessarily like mean, and then she'd be like funny again. I don't know. And she asked my Filipino friend. She was like, "Oh hey, can I borrow a pen?" And she was like, "No, sorry." And then she was like, "Bitch." And then I was like, "Call her that!" Like immediately. Like I don't. Well, if it's not right, then I'm gonna tell you. Right now, as an adult, I'd probably like think about it a bit more and speak more like calmly. But yeah, and my friend just went like quiet, and she was like slightly red. Like she's that kind of person. She wouldn't say anything back, at least not right away. Yeah, but I always did. So I was like, why wouldn't? Why shouldn't I? You know, ha 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 ha. Say what you want. Um, but yeah, my friendship group, like, as in like funny loud and happy loud, but then when it came to like conflicts, people didn't know how to deal with it. But I feel like I was one of the only ones in our large group who actually stood up for people and like said something. Like even if it's someone who wasn't part of my friends group, like if it's like not cool, then I'm gonna say something. Just because like why waste time? Why waste time thinking like, oh, I'm scared to. Like think about it. Everyone is just kids, and so are you. But if someone's being stupid, tell them. So yeah, that's what I did, and I would get frustrated sometimes because no one else did that for me, like out of my friendship group, because they're too like oh, what should I do? Like, just go for it. Just do it once at least. Yeah, that's the one thing that was a bummer. Bummer. Obama. No, just kidding. My throat hurts because I'm trying to speak quietly. That's why I sound like. Oh, it's 7:40 a.m. in New Zealand. Yes. Discover a lot of things every day. Okay. Did you get bullied in high school? Wait, you're in high school right now. Ugh. Don't speak quietly. I have to. My family's sleeping, or my brother, because I don't care about the rest of them. No, just kidding. No one there is sleeping. Or like my brother is sleeping in the next room. My face became like rounder. It was more like this, but now it's like I'm turning into a bread, turning into a bun, because I'm eating a lot. No, not really. I just feel so different from the rest sometimes. Yes, being different is good. Do it. How come though? Don't speak quietly. No one there is asleep. So you have a degree in art. I have a diploma in music, contemporary performance, but proud of it because as well as I could have. It's mostly due to like self-confidence and kind of confidence issues. Otherwise, I know I could have. But yeah. And then, and I'm on my way to getting a bachelor's degree in music. Just music. Like, I love music. Music is, it comes naturally to me, as cliche as that sounds. Like, you know, but I have to be honest. The reason is my career for when I'm young is because for some strange reason I just was music. I'm just kidding. No, just because it just came to me and it came out of me so naturally that I felt like this is what I was born to do for now, or else why would I have this? And then I didn't want to waste it, but what do you call it? But taking it as a degree, that I don't regret it though, because now I learned how unkind people can be, like how ignorant musicians can be, and they're not like perfect either. What do you call it? Yeah. Now I'm doing Japanese at the university. Yeah, I love that. I love Japanese. I'm the only Asian in school except Indians. Oh. Oh, okay. It would be nice to have another Asian I can relate to. Haha, hee hee. I used to think that when I was in primary school as well, that if only if I had Koreans in my class, I could have Korean friends. And actually, in high school, I hated Koreans and my culture for the longest time, and now that I just realized a psychological analytic theory. What? No, I psychologically analyzed myself and came up with this theory. Perhaps psychologically, I felt betrayed by Koreans for not being on my side when I needed help from all these other people bullying me. So that's why in high school, when I became loved by everyone, I hated Koreans. I don't know. I'm just analyzing. Possibility. Maybe that was, what was it? I know. Yeah. Yeah. I also hated Koreans because my family was when I was, and in my childhood, in my teens especially, I became like the actual black sheep of my family. Meanwhile, all my friends of every different race, Koreans, were so nice to me at school. Because I just happened not to have Korean friends. Like, there was this Korean mob at my school of like the older girls, and they were friendly to me, but they weren't like my friends, and I didn't like associate myself with them or like banter with them or anything, because they had like their own humor, their own world. They kind of like cut themselves off from every other race. Yeah. those Asian gangs. But yeah, yes. I know. I think that's why I hated Korea. And before K-pop became like a thing, or like before it was a genre, like just Korean pop, I used to like in like 2006, 2007, 8, 9. But then K-pop became like this huge thing, starting from like 2010 onwards. After that, I started hating it because I felt betrayed by my race in many ways, and also my church as well, my Korean church community. I was to them because, yeah, whatever. Filipinos are in Asian gangs that go to churches. Yeah, that's true. We have them in New Zealand as well. Call it. Huh. Yeah. Oh, I also hated K-pop because even though I used to love it, like someone in my family, like the head of our family insulted it when it came on dinner whilst watching TV. He'd be like insulting it in so many ways, like not just like being like, oh, that's stupid, but like saying it in such an intellectual wannabe way, like a proper way, that it felt justified why he hated K-pop so much. He'd be like, look at them. Like, that's just entertainment. It's just to make money. The music is meaningless, and it's just like, oh, look at those tunes. It's like beep 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 beep, beep. Like, and the words, it's just meaningless crap. It's just entertainment. And because of that, like, because how it makes sense why he hates it, it made me so ashamed, I think, subconsciously, because I used to, well, it made me ashamed that, and it made me not be able to ever perform in front of anyone either, because I get so cringed. I just automatically get that feeling, like, if I sing like a note properly, I think, oh, I'll show off, ugly idiot show off, like, and I had to work so hard to break out of it. I still kind of have that, but it's not as bad. Nowhere near as bad as it used to be. It's so hard. It's just like you used to be able to, but then you broke your limbs, so you were crippled, and then you had to practice so hard for many years to be able to walk again. And then one day you might be able to start running again. It's just like that, but except like me-wise, like I kept the real me inside in some ways. Like I was always my happy, bubbly self in high school, but in terms of like what I know I can do, like skills-wise, or whatever it is, I crippled it up. I like locked it, ashamed and embarrassed to look like I'm something. Because I used to be good at like drawing. I used to do Korean traditional dancing. Then I pretended I was tone deaf before as well, because I was embarrassed to be able to sing properly. Too ashamed. Like I thought that if I did sing properly, people in my family would think like, oh, she thinks she's good. Like, oh, like she's so up herself. I don't know. I thought they would think that. Yeah. And music school was so hard because I told the tutors what condition I had. It's kind of like a psychological thing, and also it's because of like psychological abuse. And I told them that, but they didn't understand. They didn't try to understand. I tried to put it in perspective that it's not just because I lack confidence. It's not that. It's so different. I know what it's like to just be like, oh, like timid and you don't want to sing. And that's obviously frustrating for a music tutor. But this is different. I wanted to tell them that even if I go for it, I can't because of this lock I put on myself when I was younger. And I grew up with that lock. So it's really difficult to untangle the knots. I explained to them, always roll their eyes, scoff at me, be like, just get over it. It's like, fucking kill you, mate. Like, I'm getting through it. Imagine if I had cancer and I told you, like, I'm doing my best to hang, and they're like, just get over it. What do you mean? You can't get over it. You're working through it. People are stupid. What's wrong with entertainment? I think it's a skill to make people happy and entertained. That's true, exactly. Now I love K-pop and J-pop. I don't have a grudge against something for no reason, like I used to in high school. Back when I used to get like psychologically, emotionally, all of that. What do you call it? Yeah, exactly. Like some songs, even if the lyrics seem light-hearted or if it's just about love or something, if they made it really well, like creatively, I become obsessed with the music and the honesty of the way the singer sings. you know, that's really important to me. Even if the song is about nothing, if I really like the vocalist's voice, then I'm willing to listen to them. People are so stupid. Some people. Everything is relative. Even if it's like easy music, if it's really good for that like type of music, that's exactly genius. But if you have another song which sounds complex, but then if you listen carefully, it doesn't sound that great. It's just like trying to sound complex. Then it's actually not genius. It's not as good as the other one. So yeah, people have to know. It's like trying to go for a simple fashion style and so perfect that it's just amazing. It's a simple. But then if you want to go for like a bold eccentric look, but the pieces don't match up well together, then no matter how eccentric you're trying to be or each item is good, like overall it just doesn't work. See, it's really relative according to everything. People just don't know how to look at things and the overall picture for what it really is. They pick at like the small individual aspects and then use that to explain why something is the way it is. But it's like just that's not the bigger picture. But it's too hard to try and tell them why they're wrong. Like, not wrong, because I don't think people are wrong. I think it's more like why it's inaccurate. Because they won't listen anyways. So yeah, it's just like, okay, you do you. Just don't force me to be like you. Hi. Hello. Okay, I'm going to leave now, maybe. I've been talking so much. I initially just wanted to talk about why I leave after like 5-10 minutes. I started reading the comments, replying. I feel like I've been talking way, so I'm gonna go now. Watch some more Kayakizaka 46 and movies. Thanks for the pep talk, haha. Yes! I'll fan you. Friend Julia. Very good. Goodbye.